Now is in junior high school already? Time flies so quickly. I bet you'll have a boyfriend in no time and you'll get married in the blink of an eye. No! Don't leave your dad behind!
I'm Rina. The person who's crying like a baby is my husband, Takashi. And the girl looking at my husband like he's pathetic is my daughter now. She will be a junior high school student this year. Calm down, Dad. I just finished elementary school. I won't get married for ages. And even if I do, I won't take you.
Rina! Now is being mean to me!
It's called a normal response. You should consider yourself lucky that Now actually talks to you. Because my husband is like this, Now is more mature than how she looks. She has lots of friends and helps them very often. I want to join the basketball club when I become a junior high school student. That sounds great. I was in the basketball club as well, but I didn't stay in the club for very long. Why? You're good at sports, so I bet you were great at it. The teacher that coached us was crazy. It all happened 20 years ago. The basketball club I joined was like hell.
You're late! What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm sorry. The class went on a little overtime.
I don't want to hear your excuses! Each one of you is responsible for the whole team! Now 20 laps around the field! Everyone! I won't let you touch the balls until you're finished!
The coach Yamai was very strict, and he would hit us whenever we tried to rebel. Today, if a teacher hits a student, that's a huge issue, but that wasn't the case when I was a student.
Yeah, I remember people being punched on a daily basis.
I endured it for a bit, but Yamai's discipline escalated day by day. He would force students who were ill to train harder and hit people with balls just because they made suggestions. He even punched a student's face hard enough to break their eardrums because they were trying to tell the principal. That's so terrible! I couldn't cope with it and quit. But don't worry, it was all when I was young. I am sure there aren't any teachers like that now.
It's going to be fine. If something does happen to you, I'll go to the school and beat up the bad teacher.
Okay, thanks, Dad. You are so reliable.
Why do you sound like a robot?
This conversation took place last month, and when I went to Nao's entrance ceremony, I couldn't believe what I was saying. When the teachers were being introduced, Yamai was standing amongst the teachers. What's the matter? You look pale. Now, that person, he's the crazy PE teacher I was talking about. What? I didn't know he was a teacher here. Try not to make him angry. You don't want to be punished by him. You worry too much, Mom. Teachers who do that kind of thing are extinct. Now was laughing about it, but my concerns had become reality. 2 weeks from the entrance ceremony, Now came home extremely tired. I asked her why she was tired, and she told me that Yamai had made the students do 20 laps around the field.
I told you to get the vaulting boxes ready! As a punishment, everyone has to do 20 laps around the field. If anyone doesn't finish by the end of the class, I'll fail you all!
It sucks! I hate him so much! He's such an asshole! My legs are trembling from running so much! After that, I heard stories of him doing terrible things like thrusting a student with anemia, saying that they weren't paying attention, or throwing students who weren't very good at sports, or telling them to man up. I think he's crossing the line, so I'm thinking of talking to some other moms so that we can talk to the school about it.
Good thinking. We can't just let this teacher roam free. You know, I could go directly to him and beat him up.
Oh, well, Yamai has a belt in judo, so you won't stand a chance against him. So you don't have to, but thanks. So anyways, I'm going to meet up with the mom friends and discuss how we can approach this. But this never happened because Now was suddenly hospitalized. Mom, I can't stand straight. And this, I have a lump on my leg. Am I sick? I touched her ankle and felt a hard lump. What is this lump? We should go to the hospital now. I just hope the dizziness is coming from being tired and that the lump will go away in a few days. We got to the hospital and the results were devastating.
We should do a full-on checkup.
The doctor told us with a serious face, and she went through several examinations, and the doctor told me
She has acute myeloid leukemia.
Now has leukemia? My legs were shaking from the moment the doctor told me he wanted to talk to me alone. I felt like I had a hole in my stomach when he told me the name of the disease.
Huh? What? Wait, hold on. Could you say it again? My hearing has gotten worse with the aging. Could you say it one more.
My husband fell down crying on the other side of the phone, and we couldn't continue the conversation any longer. Now was the calmest one. I did some research on my phone, and it said that the possibility of being cured has gotten a lot higher compared to what it used to be. Don't worry, I'll recover. I'll definitely get better. So don't look so sad, Mom. I'll survive no matter what. I can't be the one weeping when Now is being so brave. I need to pull myself together. We will fight this disease together. I handed in a form to Nao's school, informing her that she will be absent, and Now got hospitalized to treat her illness. The examination seemed very painful, and Now was having a rough time every day, but repeatedly said, "I'll do my best. I won't give in." Me and my husband were trying so hard not to tear up in front of her, being so strong. Now is suffering the most, but she isn't crying, so there was no way that we could cry in front of her.
Look now! I brought you a book! It's the magazine that you like!
Dad, isn't this for toddlers?
Huh? But this is... Oh no. I chose it only looking at the front cover.
It's okay, I'll read it. It actually looks like so much fun. Thanks, Dad. As we started getting used to this lifestyle, we got good news. From the examination, we found that Nao's leukemia was the type that had a higher chance of recovery.
We will start chemotherapy now. There are side effects such as feeling nauseous, loss of hair, and feeling dull. But it's to recover from the disease. Let's get through this together. We will support you as much as we can.
Thank you so much. Chemotherapy looked so painful that you would want to look away from it. I feel sick. I don't want to do this anymore. There now. Mom, I feel dizzy. Mom, are you there? Mom? Here now, I'm right here. I wish I could take your place. I'm sorry now, I can't do anything for you. My husband couldn't come to the hospital very often because of work. Whenever he didn't make it in time for visiting times, going to the shrine on the way back was the best he could do. Now seemed tired, but happy of the charms that increased day to day. Nao's friends also called her to cheer her up. I searched on the internet. Leukemia can be really hard to combat. I want to play with you again, so get well soon. We're all waiting for you to come back now. Thanks, but what is it like at school? The classes are normal, but PE is the worst. Yamai's going on about getting ready for the school marathon, and he makes us run 10 kilometers even on days we don't have PE. Wow, that's rough. I don't like running, so I'm lucky I don't go to school at the moment. A few months after starting the chemotherapy, Nao had lost her hair from the side effects. She was upset for a while, but recently she came to accept it and enjoys choosing her hat for the day. One day, the doctor came into the hospital room with a happy face. He always looked rather fierce, so I wondered why.
Now, you've been so brave. The test results show that your ability to produce healthy blood is functioning again.
Does that mean?
She's recovering steadily. It would be okay to go home and see how things turn out.
Really? I'm cured?
If it doesn't relapse within 2 years, it is safe to think that it has been cured, but we need to keep checking to see if it hasn't relapsed. So you will need to come to the hospital now and then, and...
Nao was so happy she wasn't even listening to the doctor. So the doctor told me instead. According to him, if the leukemia doesn't relapse after 4 years, the probability of it relapsing after that is below 1%. We still can't say for sure that she recovered 100%. But from his experience, he said it was quite unlikely that it will relapse. So I'm happy. Thank God.
That's great! I'm so happy! She can go home? Oh, thank God! That's so great! Thank God!
I hung up on my husband, who just repeated the same things over and over again as we started preparing to go home. Even though she is getting better, she isn't fully recovered yet. And because of the long time in the hospital, her muscles have gone weaker, so she can't just go back to her daily life. But I'm just happy to be home, Mom! I want to eat karage! Also, I want curry! Stew sounds great too. I miss macaroni too. And Odin. You might get hospitalized this time because of a stomach ache next if you eat too much. But yeah, I'll make some of your favorites for a while. I'm just so happy I can cook for you again at home. So life in the hospital finally came to an end after 8 months, and she came home. Now would walk around the house to recover her muscles. According to the doctor, nothing can trigger the relapse from things you do in your daily life. For example, it won't relapse because you got soaked in the rain or getting tired for walking for hours. When it does, it does. It's more about luck. It's scary, but Now is very positive about it, so I could stay positive about it too. After a month, she came home. Mom, I'm alright now. My muscles are weaker than before, but I can totally go to school. Really? I'll take you to school and pick you up by car then. So do you want to go? Yeah! So Now started going to school again. She was studying at the hospital, so she didn't have a problem with the studying. Now was able to enjoy her school life with her friends again. All of her friends were very kind, and they lent her their notebooks and talked to her about what happened while she was away, so that she could blend back in. She would tell me things like what happened at school that day, or she promised to go to the summer festival on the way back. She would talk with so much joy that it made me happy. Every time I would tell that to my husband, he would cry, saying, "That's so great, I'm so happy," which was quite annoying. But the peaceful days only lasted for 2 weeks. Mom! Mom! Now, what happened? Did you come home by yourself? Now came back home while I was doing the laundry. I thought she was still at school. I wonder what happened. I took her inside and listened to her, and I got so furious that I was trembling with anger. Mr. Yamai told me to take off my hat, and he took it off so forcefully. I didn't do as he said, but he didn't have to do it in front of everyone. So this is what happened. Now is still in the process of recovering her muscles, so she told Yamai that she will rest if she starts to feel bad, but he got mad because of this.
You came back to school because you got better, right? What do you mean, rest? I won't treat you differently. Now get in the court. Hold it! What is that hat you're wearing? Take it off! What if somebody trips on it when you drop it? I said, take it off!
And he forcefully took Nao's hat. Everyone saw my head, and I didn't want people to see me without hair. Oh, why am I the one who has to go through all this? Mom, why? Why? Now I'm so sorry. Now I'm so sorry. I stroked her back until she got tired of crying and fell asleep. I will never forgive Yamai. Never. I put a blanket on Nao, who was still sleeping on the sofa. I got my phone to contact the school and talked directly to the principal. But before I pressed the call button, I heard the door ring. Nao's classmates were here to check if she was alright. This is Nao stuff. Thanks, guys. It must have been heavy. Not at all. I'm sorry we couldn't do anything for now. I was so afraid of Mr. Yamai that I couldn't even stand up for her. I'm so sorry. You're not the ones to apologize. Yamai has been like that for a very long time. I used to be his student too, so I know very well. I won't forgive him. Nao's friends looked at each other and opened their mouths as I made a firm grip with my fist. Yamai has done lots of unforgivable things. We have some voice recordings of him saying horrible stuff, and videos of him excessively touching us. Would this be of any help? We want to get rid of Yamai. I told my mom about this, but she says that the teachers will lower my grade if I'm troublesome, so she couldn't make any actions. So please, help us. The voice recordings and videos were indeed very horrible. As we were talking in the living room, Nao came in and said she wouldn't forgive him in a small voice. What the hell? He's touching you and shouting. This is crossing the line. I know. We shouldn't forgive him. Thanks, guys. The adult will take it from here. I won't let you suffer anymore. I took the evidence and headed straight to the school, but the principal said, "It must be some sort of fake recording. You know, there are softwares that can create voices artificially these days." I see. Then I'll take this issue to the education committee. It is evidence of assault, so I will report this to the police too. I've recorded what you just said as well, so I'll hand it in along with every other piece of evidence. I hope you're prepared for this. And my husband is a lawyer, so I'll have him with me when I report the issue. Goodbye. The principal said anything but that and apologized so many times, but I ignored her and met up with my husband to go to the education committee with the evidence. A few days later, we had a meeting with the principal and Yamai, but...
That's just a part of discipline. Students don't really listen to teachers nowadays, so you need to be more strict to discipline them.
Even if it is discipline, this is crossing a line. I will not tolerate abusive language, and there are slapping sounds and a scream in the recording. It is obvious that you are hitting them. And this, it's something that one of the moms gave me. It's footage of the security cameras from your school. It shows you throwing students out who are late. This is clearly crossing the line with discipline.
This is why I hate dealing with parents. Look, I'm a teacher. The teachers are in power. The teachers are in charge. If the teacher tells you to run, you run. If they tell you to apologize, you apologize. If they tell you to take your hat off, you do as you're told. That's how things are. I've been a teacher for over 20 years. Therefore, what I'm saying is correct.
I see. You can say that in court then. My family has decided to sue you for the psychological damage you did to my daughter. So I'll see you in court.
Hey, we're not done yet. I've done nothing wrong.
Many other moms decided to sue Yamai with the evidence they had after I started talking to them about it. I think Yamai panicked a little bit and approached us, suggesting a settlement. According to my husband, because Yamai is a public school teacher, he is protected by a law saying that he doesn't have to take responsibility, and even if he loses the case, the government or municipality has to pay the compensation, not Yamai himself. The education committee, who we thought was a completely useless group that was incapable of anything, made a move. I guess the mountain of evidence and the voices of numerous parents helped. Yamai was suspended. It seems as though he and the principal were having an affair, and that also became a huge issue. That's why the principal was protecting him.
Having a relationship even though they're both married and trying to cover up problems? What a hopeless world this has become. But I guess it was good in a sense that evil has disappeared from the school. The good always wins.
Why is it that your vocabulary can sometimes be so childish, even though you're a lawyer, and you're very smart? So Yamai and the principal were no longer at school, so now could go to school peacefully. Her classmate thanked her for getting rid of Yamai. Now hasn't fully recovered yet, but she has recovered to the point where she doesn't need me to take her to school or pick her up. Her health is looking good, and there are no signs of relapses for now. We still can't be sure, but I hope she can grow up into a healthy girl. About Yamai, after everything, his pride was shattered from being suspended, and he couldn't endure the other teachers talking about him behind his back, so he quit. He was charged a great amount of compensation because he had an affair with the principal, and in addition, he was kicked out of his own house and had nowhere to go. One of the moms told me that she saw him sitting outside an employment office center. He was just an old man wearing dirty clothes. But it was all his fault. I'm sure there are other teachers out there like him, but I hope things will start to change with time. I know that the future of our children's generation will be a bright one.